It's DIY Friday, and if you're thinking of starting a garden this year, you may want to consider building your own garden bed. Our home contractor, Leonard, joins us now with some tips. Welcome, great to see you.
Always good to see you.
This is something I want Paul to do for me. It's a raised garden bed.
Sure.
What are some of the advantages of that?
There's a lot of them.
Okay.
One is it's a lot easier to actually handle in terms of you don't have to build the existing turf. You don't have to deep till the soil. You can just essentially build right on top of your turf, and then you can put whatever type of soil you want depending on what you want to grow. And so then therefore you have a nice loose aerated type of soil that you'll never step on. It doesn't get compacted, and that way the roots can grow in there more easily, and you get more plants that thrive better. And you can also think about raising it even as high enough to where you don't have to lean over much. You can
That's what we need. Okay, so we're looking at some pictures of a raised bed that you started.
Yeah.
So talk us through some of the...
So what I use a pressure treated lumber with grade stakes on the outside of the frame to hold the frame in place. The thing about this is I actually removed the side. You don't need to remove the side, but I chose to remove the side.
Okay.
And then on the bottom I used a weed fabric. You can use cardboard, or you can use newspaper.
I've seen those in like Home Depot or whatever, and you pick that out. Okay.
But you don't have to use anything fancy. You can line the bottom and then just construct the frame on top of that.
What's this aluminum flashing for?
So the aluminum, what this is in this example is I use pressure treated lumber to make the raised bed. But you don't want to have the pressure treated lumber contact the soil, because there's actually toxins in the pressure treated lumber. So the aluminum is to line the interior of this particular raised bed.
Okay.
But you don't need to use pressure treated. You can use cedar, you can even use a poly type of material, you can use cinder block, you can use brick, you can even just take the soil and actually put it on top of the turf after you put your fabric on it or whatever to keep the weeds from coming up. And then you can even just put straw or line it whatever you want on the outside. And a more permanent structure is easier to maintain.
If I do use the aluminum flashing, how do I get it to adhere?
You just I just use roofing nails. It's real easy.
Oh,
It's a thin aluminum. You can get it at the home centers, and I just use roofing nails to penetrate I fix it to the bed frame. So.
Okay, and then you're going to want a bunch of these stakes then, right?
The grade stakes, yeah, makes it very easy to keep the frame in place. You just spike them into the ground with a handheld sledgehammer, and then there's holes in these stakes. You can screw it right to the outside of the frame. And they come in 12-inch, and they come in 18-inch and 24-inch and 36-inch. You can get them at the home centers. I find a lot of uses for these grade stakes, frankly. There's a lot of things that you can use around the house, especially for landscaping and gardening projects and things like that.
And then, of course, you want to think about good soil, right?
That's the wonderful thing about the raised beds, is that you can put whatever type of soil you want. And what I did was I actually, Miracle Grow actually has a pre-made raised bed soil that you can buy now.
Oh.
And I haven't seen it to this year myself, and so that's what I chose to use in our raised beds. It's ready to go, but you can actually just use soil, any type of soil you want. You can amend it with your own compost, or you can amend it with any other additives that you might choose to amend it with. So that's the nice thing about it. You can really cater it to whatever specific plants, whether it's flowers or vegetables or a certain type of vegetables, and the pH levels of the soil, versus trying to amend the turf and deep till it.
Oh, right. Yeah, we went that route. Didn't work.
It could take a long time
to
amend the turf.
It takes a long time, right.
Yeah.
This is definitely the better route for us.
You have a lot of control.
And now we know how to do it.
Yeah, do it.
Rob, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah.